Starting off this countdown, we have the ending. Posted on Reddit by the user Drake Berserker, he decided to go randonauting and set his intention to an ending. I can tell you right there that that is not a smart move. Why on earth would you choose that? Like, the app could have led you to your death and ended you. Anyways, it actually brought him to a cemetery. And the exact point he was brought to was a freshly dug hole in the ground. That's so creepy. He's just lucky that he didn't end up buried in that hole. In our 9th spot, we have something creepy. So Reddit user RickyRoma18 decided to set his intention as something creepy. And with this app, one thing that I have learned is if you ask, you shall receive. I should mention that earlier in the day, Ricky and his friend were joking around, saying that if they set the intention to war, that they would end up getting blown up by a mine. Well, the app brought them right to a memorial plaque. The plaque read, Demeanor Salvatore Agostini died by a mine in 2404-1945. Yeah, they definitely got something creepy. I mean, what are the odds that they were talking about that, and then next thing you know, they're brought to that specific point? It's so freaky and weird. In our 8th spot, we have the abandoned. So Reddit user Nova Melody decided to fool around on the app with his friends. They put the word abandoned as their intention and set off. They were brought to a field surrounded by trees that had a house, a couple of sheds, and a barn. But all of them were destroyed and had the words "Stay Out" spray painted on them. They were going to enter one of the sheds but heard low moaning voices coming from inside, so they fled. But I guess the app really did bring them to an abandoned place, so you got what you asked for. Coming in at number 7, we have the figure. Posted on Reddit by the user Payish23, they shared their Randonautica horror story, where he witnessed something ghostly. So he never shared what his intention was, but the app led him and his friends down a dark dirt road to a dead end. When they reached the dead end, they got out of the car to explore. The guy was taking photos of his surroundings when they found a dead cat in the middle of the road. Then they started to hear weird noises in the distance, so they got back in the car and drove home. When he was home, he decided to look at the photos he took. And that's when he saw a figure standing in the background of one of the photos. Yeah, that's a no for me. Making our way down the list, number 6, we have the stalker. The thing with this app is that even if you don't set your intention to anything bad, something scary can still happen. Take this story for example. One user claimed that she and her friend decided to set their intention as friendship. Aw, like that's so cute. But when they arrived at the destination, they found a van waiting there for them. They left immediately, but the van ended up following them. They ended up being chased by the van until they eventually lost them. But what's freaky is that there are tons of other stories where users claim that some sites have people there waiting for them, or that a car has also followed them. So it's kind of like a common thing that has happened to others. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the animals. So Reddit user Help I Think I'm Emo decided to set his intention as to find something spooky. And boy did he get that and more. So the app took him to a forest. When he started getting close to the point, he started to feel very uneasy, but he kept going. The app ended up taking him to a creek in the forest. That's when he noticed it. Across the creek was a pile of dead animals. That's where the app was telling him to go. Being scared, he fled. But before doing so, he saw some sort of a large figure in the distance watching him. There certainly is something off with this app, like too many scary things have happened. In our 4th spot, we have the stranger. I know everyone wants a good thrill every now and then, but do not put scary as your intention in the app. I'm warning you. And if you don't believe me, check out this next story. So a group of guys did this and the app brought them along a dark dirt road to a dark field. They sat in the car waiting for something to happen, and they got what they wished for. Out of nowhere, a tall man in a white top and black jeans starts running towards the car. He had blood dripping from his nose. Thankfully, the group made it back home safe and sound. And I feel bad if that man like just needed help or something and like wasn't evil, but still pretty creepy. Coming in at number 3, we have the suitcase. If you're into randonauting and TikTok, then I'm pretty sure you have seen this video. I saw it months ago and it still disturbs me. So the TikTok user Henry went out randonauting with his friends. They set their intentions to travel and ended up at a beach. At their destination, the group found a suitcase, which is creepy because his intention was travel and then you use a suitcase to travel. But when they opened the suitcase, the smell was overwhelming and they saw black garbage bags in it. They ended up calling the cops, and days later it was revealed that the suitcase had a dead body in it. I literally don't know what I would do if I was the one who found that. Like, I would be traumatized for life. That's so scary. Moving on to number 2, we have the message. So Reddit user Guacamole created a post asking for help analyzing the signs Randonautica has given her. So she claims that she is an 18-year-old girl in a secret relationship with a 23-year-old from Tennessee. She also adds that the relationship is online. So this girl asked the app what her boyfriend's true intentions were. The app brought her to a large body of water and a bunch of rocks. She figured she just didn't do it right, so she tried it again with the same intention. But the second time, the app brought her to a park next to a bunch of water. Then the third time, the app brought her to another body of water. I know you're thinking what I'm thinking. Then she changed it up and asked if her boyfriend was going to hurt her. And the app brought her to an apartment building. The name of the building was Bristol, the same city where her boyfriend lives. Okay girl, you want some advice? Your online boyfriend is going to kill you and then discard of your body in a lake or something. Seriously, it's too weird. Or maybe he just wants to go swimming with you. But chances are he's got something sinister planned. Especially if it's online, like you don't know who he is. He could be a catfish and then actually be a serial killer. And in our number 1 spot, we have the dangerous hobby. Born King 2007 posted on Reddit warning everyone how dangerous randonauting is and how it nearly destroyed his life. So story goes that he kept witnessing scary things while going out on adventures. One time he witnessed a gang fight, another time he saw an old man fall into a ditch. But regardless, he kept going out multiple times for 2 months. That's when bad things started to happen to him. A tree fell from his front lawn and crushed his brand new truck. Days later, his cat went missing and was found dead floating in his neighbor's pool. He also got stung by 14 wasps, and someone broke into his home. Now he believes that somehow he has disturbed the matrix and has become an attractor or void point.
Starting us off at number 10 are human remains. This one blew my mind, oh my god. So TikTok user Henry went randonauting with his friends and the coordinates took them to a beach in West Seattle. They didn't mention what intention they put into the app, so I don't know if their intention was to find something horrific, but that is what they found. Near the rocks under the bridge, the group found a black suitcase. Uh-oh. They obviously ventured down there to get closer and eventually opened the suitcase to find a huge garbage bag inside of it with this god-awful stench coming out of it. They were trying to poke it with a stick, and I mean, your mind goes straight to one thing. It's either expired food or a rotting dead body. There is no in between. The randonauts called the police, and when they came to investigate, they found human remains inside of it. Like, that is so messed up, I can't even wrap my head around it. And the police didn't just find that suitcase, they found a bunch more, meaning the person who was killed was also dismembered.
Open it. It stinks, y'all. It washed up. Oh. Oh.
Coming in at number 9 is The Lady. This one was shared by TikToker Marlena Sanchez, who said she was playing around on the app and decided to go to the location it gave her. Now, I don't know what she set her intention as, but it clearly wasn't anything good because it led her to a school parking lot. That sounds all well and fine, but there was a woman just standing loitering around in the middle of the lot, and she had a knife. It's a knife. Literally, I was like, what the hell is this? The woman then starts chasing down the randonauts with her knife, and they make it back to their car just in time and end up escaping. Who is this woman? Why does she have a knife? What is happening? What was your intention?
Look, she literally has a knife in her hand and she was looking right at us. What the heck? Seconds later, we passed by again and she was not there. She disappeared. This app is weird.
At number 8, we have the clothes. This one comes from TikTok user Killer Queen Bites, and she was out randonauting with a friend, and they had set their intention as seeing something cool, interesting, love, positive. So who would have thought they would have ended up in the place that they did? The couple was led to a very pretty lake, a bit run down, but still quite nice. And that is a positive, interesting thing to see, but then they just started exploring and going deeper into the area for fun. She said the vibe of the whole place felt ominous and off, like they shouldn't have been there. After going down the lake a bit more, they found a really small sweatshirt and sock laying in the water, which was really bloody weird. There was also a rock nearby the clothes that had either a T or a Y carved into it, depending on which angle you were seeing it from. Maybe it was the starting letter of the person's name. Near that, they found this branchy enclave almost that had a shirt tied to it, and when they took a closer look, they noticed the splatters of blood on it. A sewer opening wasn't far off the area either, so this whole thing just gave me major Pennywise vibes. Like, who did you drag in there and kill? Filling at number 7 slot is the call. This one's from TikToker Emily3, who got an anonymous call as soon as she got to the target location from the app. And apparently this has happened to a lot of randonauts, not just Emily. Rumor has it that the call is an invitation to an alternate universe, so if you answer it, you're getting hologrammed there or zapped there. I don't even know how you're getting there, but you're there. But if you're not ready for that, then don't answer the phone. Simple as.
Legend has it, that's an invitation to an alternate universe. And if you're not ready for that, then don't answer.
Now at number 6 is Inside the Hole. So this one was shared by TikToker Jazzy83, and her coordinates led her deep into this trail in the forest. And while she was walking to the destination, she found a deflated balloon that said best mom ever. Now I don't know if that was related to what they ended up finding, but I'm pretty sure it was because of the proximity, and because who the hell is having a Mother's Day walk that deep into the woods? It's weird. Now on the left of them, they found a huge white coffin just in the grass. Like, how the hell has nobody found this coffin before them? Like, that is screwed up. There are also holes on the side of the coffin, and the user literally takes you inside the hole. Thankfully, we don't see anyone moving in there or anything like that, so no one was, you know, coffined alive, but I really didn't need to see inside the coffin, like, unnecessary. Coming in at number 5 is Jamie. This one is trippy if it is real, but the bit they're talking about wasn't actually recorded, so there's no way we'll know for sure. Anyway, this was from TikTok user Rag City, whose coordinates led them to some abandoned dirt trail. One of the randonauts called Jamie goes out to investigate with the flashlight from her phone, but rushes back before going too far. I would never be the one volunteering to investigate. Oh hell no, I'm staying in the getaway car. Cause even if you don't make it back in time, I'm going. Goodbye. Now, the person filming thinks Jamie just got scared, and that's why she came back, and she's like, no, it's because I heard Natalie call out Jamie even when the windows were locked. Turns out nobody in the car said her name, so it's like, what intention did you put in for the app to lead you somewhere where someone is saying your name who you do not know?
You got scared.
No, because I heard Natalie saying Jamie even when the windows were locked.
No, I didn't say anything.
You didn't say Jamie?
At number 4 is the bin. This one is utterly screwed up and comes from TikToker KennyV99, whose coordinates led them to an abandoned bin in a field. And I feel like a lot of people ask me what I mean. Like, if I'm at a fast food place or anywhere and I'm like, oh, do you have a bin so I can throw out my gum? And they're like, a what? Sorry? And I'm like, a bin? You know, a garbage bin, a trash can? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, forget it. It's a bin. How do you not know? Either way, the user gets there and there are flies everywhere and it smells horrible. They walk up to the dumpster to find it empty, but dried blood is smeared everywhere, on the sides, on the bottom. It's like, okay, whose murdered body was dumped here and left to rot? And is it not bizarre that the app is meant to take you to all these randomly generated places, but how are they randomly generating so many murder scenes? Something doesn't make sense. Filling at number 3 slot are aliens. I love some extraterrestrial going on. It's always somehow less scary than supernatural. Anyway, this was from TikTok user Blood Pixie, who set her intention as alien. She drove to the location, which was this grassy field, and you guys know that fields are always somehow alien related. And the trees by the field had Christmas baubles decorating them, which was super weird. And there was this wooden post nearby that had a literal yellow sign on it with an alien on it, which read Alien Zing. What is going on there? Is that like the alien, that Area 51, is that their like holiday house, their summer house? What is that? Now at number 2 are the men. This one comes from TikTok, it's Adrian C, and I don't know what he set his intention to, but let's continue. While following the coordinates, the app took the duo to some shady, forgotten beach 10 minutes behind this hill. There they found a Polaroid of someone's dog, and then Adrian's phone starts glitching out, almost like it was a glitch in the simulation. Something seemed to be interfering with his signal, and it only happened when he got to the coordinates. Then out of nowhere, 3 men in masks can be seen coming towards them on some speedboat thing, and they getting closer and closer, and the user starts getting worried about whether these men have guns or not. I don't know what his intention was, but clearly it wasn't anything positive if they're worried about being gunned down. Get the hell out of there.
Hello?
Hello?
And finally, at number 1 are butterflies. This one's from TikTok user Owen's Coochie. And he spends the whole day going to different coordinates with his friend. First they manifest red and yellow, and then they set their intention to butterflies. The coordinates brought the Randonauts to this trail they'd never seen before, which was weird considering they'd both lived in the area their whole lives. How do you miss something like that? They start going down the trail, but the more they zoomed into the spot on the phone, the further away it seemed to get. They just weren't getting closer to it. They eventually got to this abandoned leafy lake area, and Owen gets a call from an unknown number. Aren't you glad you didn't pick it up, Owen? Yeah, God knows where your ass would be right now if you did. Then they happen on a bunch of animal skeletons and bones, and they realize the ground was covered with patches of fur. Like, was there some animal massacre here? How does this have anything to do with butterflies? This is not what I was expecting.
So it brought us to these trails, and we've lived in this town for like, what? Our whole lives, and we had no idea there were trails here.
Starting off at number 10, man on the side of the road.
I just went randonauting, and our intention was death. We were on our way to the spot, and I look out my window, and there's someone laying in the gutter.
This one honestly gave me chills. So user Mike and Ray captioned the video, "This just happened in Aurora, Colorado." And then added text on the video saying to not go randonauting. And the video starts with her crying, saying not to use the app. Then she says how she set her intention to be death, and that when she was driving really close to the location, she saw a man on the side of the road laying in the gutter with a woman on top of him, kinda holding him and trying to help him out. So the user then pulled over, and when she got over to them, realized that the man had been shot, and then she had to call the cops on their behalf. And in this video, she's crying so hard at some points it's hard to understand what she's saying. So if that's any indicator of the stuff this app makes you encounter, it can be really messed up. In at number 9, man in a field.
Sky. Oh my god. I can't. What if the person shows up in my rear view camera?
User Ephemeray had another really creepy experience, captioning her video, "So we tried Randonautica and this is what happened." Then showing her filming outside of her car in the pitch black, in some sort of field it looks like. And you can see in the distance there's a man walking towards them completely alone. And some of you guys might be thinking that this could have just been the man's property and he was trying to see who was trespassing or something. Which could be true, but it's also just really creepy that he was alone in the field in the pitch black when literally nothing else was around. And you can see the girls quickly leaving while still showing him walking towards them. In at number 8, creepy shoe. User Merc Garcia captioned the video, "You won't believe what we found." And I honestly didn't believe it until I saw it for myself. The video starts with the user showing that they have arrived at the destination, and it looks like a ghost town because no one else is really around. Then it looks like they go into some sort of construction site because there are just piles of sand all around them. Then they approach this one pile, and as they're walking up, you can see that there's a shoe sticking out of the pile of sand. So one of them goes up to the pile and starts hitting the shoe with a stick. I assume it's to see if it's just like a random lost shoe or to see if the shoe is attached to anything. And it ends with the woman hitting the shoe multiple times, and when it doesn't move and the dirt starts to fall, she suddenly runs away, telling the other friend that she just saw a leg.
There's a lake. There's a lake. There's a lake. There's a lake. No, there's not. No, there's not.
And I don't know how it ended, but I hope they called the cops to report that. And at number 7, scary white van.
This location. I was like, I know where that is. It's about 5 minutes away, so I drive out there. Mind you, it's midnight. I haven't charged my phone and I didn't tell anyone where I was going, so I'm stupid.
A user named Sour Bongwater captioned her TikTok, "Always randonaut with friends," and she describes how she decided to go to a location that was about 5 minutes away from her house, alone when it was midnight, and not tell anyone where she was going. Then saying it wasn't what she found at the location that scared her, but what happened when she got home. So she said she went to the location and it was a random field with nothing really there. Then she saw some cop cars and decided to dip. Then she decides to leave and notices that when she pulls back into her driveway, a white car pulls up right behind her, with their lights fully facing her car. Then she shows a video of herself in the car that night, freaking out about the fact that there's a random white van fully watching her. Sadly, she doesn't tell us how it all ended, but I'm assuming she recorded the TikTok the next day, so she was obviously fine. But I'm sure she was still incredibly creeped out. And at number 6, invisible man.
So there's that dude. Keep an eye on that red truck. Never
He's
goes.
literally right behind
You
us
guys.
now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the f? What the f?
User Rayleigh captioned her video, "Y'all what the F," and re-uploaded a video from user ShaylinXO. And in this one, she didn't say what her intention was or give much backstory as to what happened, but what she showed was really creepy. Basically, it starts with her showing that there is a man walking pretty closely behind their car with a dog in the daytime, as well as a red truck really close behind him, which are both, pretty normal looking things. Then it gets really creepy when she shows her backup camera of the car, and in the camera you can see the mailbox that's like directly beside the man, but you can't see the man or the red car in the backup camera. And just to make sure it's not a crazy coincidence, she then turns the camera to the man once again, and you can see that he's come even closer, but he still wasn't seen on the backup camera. And I'm not really sure what that all means, but it's obviously really scary. Halfway through number 5, skulls. This next one is from the user Alex Kemp, and it's captioned, "Randonautica is just one big old nope." Then in the video you can see a group of girls walking around in the daytime, saying that they wanted to try the app out to see what they'd find. Then saying that the app took them to some woods. Then when they showed up at the exact location that the app told them to, they ended up finding a skull that looked pretty old and kind of human. Then they discovered a really small one right near the other one. And to be honest, the skull looked pretty real to me, like it looked pretty worn down, but the fact that one of the girls was smiling while looking at the skull is making me second guess if it is real, but incredibly creepy if it's all true. And at number 4, empty bullets. User Leanne Reynolds posted a TikTok with her trying out Randonauting. In the video you can see her and some friends driving together towards the coordinates. She then shows them all walking in a forest area. Then she ended up ending the video showing bullet casings in the forest, which is obviously really creepy. She then made a part 2 of the other times she's gone randonauting, saying that the other times weren't as creepy, and the worst thing she saw was a goat skull the other times, which personally would freak me out, but I guess maybe it's a common thing where she's from, I don't know. And at number 3, kitten.
There was a gate blocking us from getting where we needed to be. Then when I was turning the car around, I kid you not, come here buddy, this kitten was there.
So this one might be creepy, or it might actually just be the app working how it's supposed to. You can decide for yourself. But the user, it's Bree Green, shared how she was supposed to adopt a kitten that day, but her mom told her not to. Then she said she was sad for a while, but after learning about the Randonautica app, she went on it and tried to find a kitten as her intention. So the app gave her a location that was about 5 minutes away from where she lived, and she started to head out. But when she was approaching, she saw that there were gates blocking her from getting to where she needed to be. And because she didn't want to trespass, she ended up just turning around. And then the craziest thing happened. When she was turning around, there was a kitten right there running towards her. And a lot of things on this app might be BS, but that's a pretty insane coincidence if you ask me. And at number 2, coffins.
Me and a bunch of friends decided to go explore a park that was located nearby all of our houses, and in the creepy back area we found a lot of coffins, and we got curious and opened one, and there were spikes.
This next one is another really creepy one. So the user Krista Ball posted a video with the caption, "Possible cult activity near my house?" And he showed him and his friends being led into a creepy field area by the app. And when they arrived, you can see all sorts of random stuff that looks like it came out of a horror movie, including tons of coffins. And when he opened up one of the coffins, it had spikes on the inside. Then there's a large wooden plank that can be rocked up and down, and it looks like an old school torture device. Then he ends saying that if the video blows up, he'll come back at night. And when he ended up coming back with a Ouija board, thankfully he didn't find any spirits, but still really creepy. And finally, number 1, giant skeletons.
Somebody asked me, I get this a lot, have you ever had a crazy experience using Randonautica? Yes.
This last one is pretty cool because one of the founders of the app named Conrad decided to talk about the craziest things that he's encountered while using his own app. He starts off saying that he has had a lot of stories of what he called mind-bending synchronicities, but he speaks of one where he was with a friend and the coordinates was in the middle of the lake, so they walked as closely as they could to that point, and they were talking about giant skeletons at the time. Then when they were approaching the point, they saw this random man meditating at the edge of the lake. They then asked him if he thought intentions could affect random coordinates, and the man said yes. Then they randomly asks them if they can see a rock wall across the lake, and when they say yes, he tells them that there's giant skeletons under it. And that creeped him out so much because it was exactly what they were just talking about before they encountered this random man.